This is a short video to show you some of the features of your MacBook Pro. First thing we're going to talk about is the trackpad, or what some people call the mouse pad. A typical mouse has two buttons, a left click and a right click. The trackpad for a left click is one finger press on the trackpad. You hear that click. If I take two fingers and press down on the trackpad, it gives you a right click. Now you can also swipe side to side and up and down on a trackpad. If I take three fingers and swipe from left to right, a three-finger swipe from left to right on the trackpad, or back and forth on the trackpad, will take me to my kind of home screen and then to the dashboard. I'll talk about the dashboard in a minute. Also, if I take three fingers and slide them from the bottom to the top of the trackpad, you'll notice I can go from my dashboard to my desktop. I can also, when I three fingers up, add an extra desktop. So if you have an application open on the first desktop, you can kind of extend your desktop by opening up another application on desktop 2 and swiping three fingers from one to the next. So now you'll notice if I swipe from left to right, I go to my dashboard. Swiping three fingers back, I go to desktop 1, and then three fingers from right to left, I go to desktop 2. So I can go and I can add multiple desktops. So instead of minimizing screens, I could just swipe back and forth to different desktops, improving the time it takes to go from one to the other. Now, talking about the dashboard, if I go to the dashboard, three-finger swipe left to right, these are widgets. I can add more widgets. For example, I could add a weather widget, and I can change the location and type that to the city that you're in so that I can see the weather on a quick glance. I can also add stickies, and I can move all these widgets around, which is great, and I can type, and I can also change the color of the paper and the font. If I want more of these widgets, I can go to apple.com downloads dashboard and look through hundreds of different categories and download those and add them to the dashboard. The next thing we're going to take a look at is the dock on the bottom. Now, typically you would store your most used applications on this dock. If you want to remove something from the dock, simply go to the application you want removed and two-finger click, which is kind of like a right click, go to options and then remove from dock. Now, to see all your applications that you have on this Mac, simply go to Go, Applications, and they're all here. If you want to add something to the dock, simply one finger click and hold and drag it down to your dock. And there it is. Also, you'll notice that certain of these applications have a black dot underneath them. That means that they're open and running in the background. It's kind of like an iPad can have some applications running in the background. Now, if you want to quit that application, all you have to do is two-finger click on the application and go quit. In a few seconds, that black dot will be gone. Now, let's take a look at the ribbon at the top. Let's start from the right-hand side. Here we have Spotlight Search. Spotlight Search, if I type in any keyword, it'll actually look through all my documents on this computer, on this Mac, It'll also look through, give me suggestions on the web. It'll go through my email and search for that keyword. This is very useful. So for example, if I type in hockey, it'll give me a top hit as NHL.com, but it'll look through some of the folders I might have, documents, and through the email concerning the word hockey. Now, you can also, in your settings, system preferences, go in to Spotlight and actually unclick if you don't want Spotlight to search certain folders or certain areas of your Mac. Where my name is, I can click here and log out of that machine and log in as somebody else. This is the time, open date and time preferences. I can change the time. And that little Canadian flag here is actually going back and forth from my English keyboard to my French keyboard. This is for your battery. This is for your volume. You can also adjust your volume by pressing F10, F11, or F12 on your keyboard. This is for selecting your Wi-Fi. You can actually, if you're having issues with your Wi-Fi, I would recommend turning off your Wi-Fi and then turning it back on. Sometimes that's helpful. Or even rebooting your machine will sometimes help with Wi-Fi connection. This is for your AirPlay, going to your Apple TVs. These are other applications that I have on this Mac. Now let's go on the ribbon on the left-hand side. Let's look at the Apple. If you click About this Mac, this is where you can find out how much memory you have left on it and what version you have of software. So, for example, if I go to storage, it'll show you how much you're using off your Mac and how much memory you have. Also, if I go into system preferences, it's the same as if I go into that little gear wheel over there. It's the same thing. So if I click System Preferences, it'll take me to this kind of menu where I can kind of customize my Mac. So in System Preferences, you can change your screensaver, your dock, change the parameters of your Spotlight search. You can also, like an iPad, turn off notifications so you can kind of make it stop binging and dinging for notifications, so you can make it sleep from a certain time to a certain time, which is kind of handy. You can also change your displays. Now, if some of you find that your display, you find the icons too small, or you can't really read what's on your screen, especially when you AirPlay, sometimes your kind of screen gets small. You can go to Displays here, go to Scaled, and choose for 1024 times 640. And if I do that, you'll notice that everything kind of gets bigger. So sometimes it's a lot easier for people that are having a hard time to read the font. So I'll go back to the default. This is my preference. Also, if I go, for example, to keyboard, if you go to Input Sources and go back and forth your keyboard, if you're looking where the French characters are, it kind of maps it out for you, which is great. You can also add some keyboards, etc. If you're looking to get a mouse, kind of a Bluetooth, put an Apple mouse and add that. You can click here and it'll search for your mouse in there. You can add printers and scanners in here. And this is what I would really recommend: going to dictation and speech and activating, putting dictation on, and then clicking in Use Enhance Dictation. And if you select the languages, going back and forth based on your keyboard, you can basically click function key twice on your keyboard, and this little mic will come on, and then you can just start talking and it'll type for you. Also, on the ribbon in Apple, if for example you have an application like Chrome or something else that freezes on you, you can force quit. It's kind of like that Control-Alt-Delete for Windows. So if iBooks is causing me a problem, I can click iBooks and then force quit, and it'll shut that application right down. Also, this is where we would shut down and restart your machine or log off your machine. Now, in Go, this is where you would get all your application, utilities, and kind of most of the functions of your MacBook are in Go. So you can look through all your files, your documents, browse your desktop, everything on your desktop. This is where you kind of do that. Okay. Now, the desktop itself, you can do a lot like what Windows could, I guess. You can take an image and drag it to a folder. You can also take an image and put it in the trash. You can two-finger click your desktop and create a new folder and rename it. You can also, on your Mac, something really useful is you can create, in File, you can create a smart folder. This is very useful. If you say, I want to get all the images that on my computer that I've created in the last month, well, you can simply click New Smart File, New Smart Folder, plus, and give it some conditions. I want all the images named something or that contain certain words, but I'm going to go kind, and I want all of the images, okay, and then that are JPEG, and I'm going to add another search, another criteria, that were created from certain date to certain date, or that created within the last month. And there you have it. Those are the images I've dragged from the internet or found in the last month. So you can even go further and add more criteria. Something that contains the name iPad. And you can do that if you want to pull all kinds of files that have the word school or the name of your school or the name of a subject. It'll kind of pull, it'll copy from everywhere in your computer and pull it in to make a copy into a folder. And the smart folder will appear. So if I save that, I can put that on my desktop, I can put that in my documents, I could put that basically anywhere. So if I put it on my desktop and I name it iPad Images and save, I now have this smart purple folder here, and if I double click it, it'll keep updating based on that criteria. So my images are here. So really convenient way to pool some of the files that you're looking for on your computer. Hope this was helpful.